Are you wondering why you're still single? In this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 reasons why girls who want a relationship are still single and lots of advice on what you can do right now to change it. Hello everyone and welcome back to Love Advice with Lynda. So here they are, my top 10 reasons why you're still single and some steps you can start taking right now to change it. Here's my first reason. You've given up. Now I totally get this. When you've been wanting this for a long time and it hasn't been happening for you, it's easy to throw your hands up in the air and give up. But I want to remind you, this is a massive goal that you've set for yourself. Finding that one in a million guy is very rare. It doesn't happen every day. It's a once or maybe twice in a lifetime thing. Of course, for most of us, it's going to take time. Also, keep in mind that anyone who's achieved anything big in their life, whatever goal they set for themselves, they've had to take a long-term view. There was also a determination to become a better tennis player, scientist, runner, athlete, whatever their field. But one thing they have in common is they don't sit by and wait for their dream to happen. They had to work on it and they needed to say to themselves, I'm never ever giving up on this. It means too much. Imagine if Walt Disney had given up after being told by an editor early in his career that he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. It made him more determined. I have a client who just got engaged last year, got married this year and is now pregnant with her first baby. She's 40 years old. Don't give up, okay? It can't be an option for you. Reason number 2, you're not open to meeting a man anywhere at any time. A lot of girls are very closed to options on where they could meet a guy. Most of us dream of all the possibilities of how we might meet a man in real life. But if it hasn't happened for you yet, it might be time to open your mind to more possibilities. By staying open-minded about where it could happen, you're putting yourself in a very optimistic position, which is when some pretty amazing things can happen in life. I once had a gorgeous girl tell me that she was horrified that a guy she met at a hardware store had asked for her number. She was looking for a particular light fitting, and a guy who happened to be also shopping in that store walked over to her and asked if he could help. He did help her find it, but because he also asked for her number, she thought he was a little bit weird, so she ran away. There's no harm in letting a guy take your number and agreeing to meet him for coffee in a public place if he does end up calling you. One of my favorite quotes from a married woman is this: "My grandmother always told me to leave the house looking like I was about to meet my future husband, and that's exactly what I did." So be conscious about how you present yourself every time you walk out the front door. Reason you're single number 3, you haven't embraced the world of online dating. Many girls make assumptions on the kind of guys that are on Tinder or Match or Plenty of Fish or OkCupid. But again, let's try and look at the positives here. Look at online dating as another opportunity to meet guys. It's such a great way to get into the practice of meeting men and going on dates. About 80% of my clients are meeting their boyfriends or husbands online. And that number is not only growing in my business, but all around the world. It's a numbers game, and you want as many guys to see you so that the right guy can find you. Reason number 4, you are online dating, but you haven't mastered how to do it just right. I have a video I made recently on how to get the perfect online dating profile pictures. If you click the eye in the top corner here, you will be able to see that video. The pictures you upload are crucial to the quality of the man that's clicking on your profile. It's the most important element. After that, you need to know what to write in your profile and how to message guys effectively. There is a lot to learn just on this. But in a nutshell, you've got to make sure that whatever you're writing in your profile is not ringing alarm bells for him. It needs to be short and sweet and positive. We want to get to know a guy face to face, so don't worry about writing your life story or trying to express yourself in your online dating profile. It doesn't work. And here's something amazing for weeding out the time wasters. Don't keep replying if he hasn't asked you out within 4 exchanges. Guys who are serious about meeting someone special do ask girls out very quickly. Number 5, you're not going to lots of single events or to social groups where lots of men gather. Your philosophy needs to be get out there. Join meetup.com or search online. Go to speed dating and singles events, singles cruises or vacations, or join a running club or a gym. Think hard about all the places where men could be and then just show up. The trick here is to stay optimistic and positive. Those feelings radiate through your entire being. If you're saying to yourself, well, I'm going to show up, but this is going to be such a waste of time, that feeling is felt on a subconscious level. At the worst, you could say to yourself, it may not be tonight that I meet him, but at least I'm on the right path to making sure that I'm giving myself every opportunity to make this happen. So it's all okay. There's going to be something to learn tonight regardless. Reason number 6, you're not going on real dates. Dating is such a lost art in a world where people are meeting, but then going and hanging out at each other's places and watching Netflix for hours on end. Let's get back to old-fashioned courtship. A courtship is defined as a period during which a couple develop a romantic relationship before getting married. I like that word, develop. But what we see these days is 2 people hanging out like an old married couple, and they're missing out on the romance of him calling her, asking her out and planning a date, picking her up, taking her out for a beautiful dinner, driving her home, kissing each other goodnight, and then both of them going back to their own places. When you've only just met, it is a good idea to meet him at the venue, but hopefully maybe a coffee first date, and then if it goes somewhere and he asks you out again, he'll start planning dinner dates. It gives you both the opportunity to take it slow, get to know each other face to face through conversation, date each other. I'd recommend watching my video, How to Date as a Highly Sensitive Person. Even if you don't identify with being a highly sensitive person, there's lots of great tips for dating in there. Number 7, you're too accustomed to being in the friend zone. Girls are all about connection and conversation. Men usually not so much. They say that the best marriages happen when you marry your best friend. But I think the true meaning of that kind of friendship has been lost somewhere along the way. Friendship in marriage means that you trust each other completely and that you're there to support each other through thick and thin, but you're also in love with each other. Many girls try and form a mates, as we call it, relationship with a guy, and then they're wondering why there's no romance or why the relationship isn't being taken to the next level. You can't treat a guy the same way you would treat your girlfriends if a long-term relationship or hopefully marriage is what you really want. I would suggest you try and spend more time with female friends than your male friends. That way you can make the shift away from friend zone with men. Start dating men rather than being their friend. It's a big one and something that I can encourage if this sounds like you. The 8th reason is that you're not getting in touch with your femininity. These days, the true meaning of the word feminine seems to have been lost. There are a lot of assumptions that feminine means being weak or less than men. But if you can embrace your femininity in a quietly confident manner, you will be amazed by the different responses that you start to get from men in everyday life. I'm referring to femininity not only in the way you present yourself, but also in your behavior. Try to wear more skirts and dresses, even while you're at work. And on the weekends and at night when you're going out, try and get used to wearing your hair out. Be conscious of your tone of voice. Tone it down a little bit if you tend to be loud and boisterous. Let guys carry your bags, open doors for you, pull out the chair, and thank them for it. See it as good manners and good behaviour on the man's part, rather than jumping to the conclusion that he's assuming you're not capable of doing these things yourself. These slight adjustments are revolutionary for women, and they start to see just how empowering this is. I'm not saying you have to change the essence of who you are. That's not what this is about. It's about tapping into that feminine part of you that already lies within you. Number 9, you're not celebrating the happy relationships of others. Try to keep envy or jealousy out of the equation. When you can look at a couple and be genuinely happy for them, you're opening within your own heart the possibility of that happening for you too. Jealousy keeps you locked in the despair of thinking that this is never going to happen for you, and it can develop an unhealthy cycle of negative thought patterns that ultimately is harmful for you. When you see a happy couple, say to yourself, true love really does exist, and I know that it's going to happen for me too when the time's right. And the final reason why you're still single, number 10, it simply isn't your time yet, but it will be. If you can honestly say to yourself you're doing all of these things that I've mentioned throughout this video, then this is where your inner strength is more important than ever. When you know you're doing all you can, take a philosophical approach and stay strong and on track with affirmations like these. I'm on track and I'm doing all I can. He will be here at the right time. I am enough. Any guy would be lucky to have me. I may not know where he is or when he's going to be here, but I know with all of my heart that I'm doing everything I can to make it happen in the right time. And the one thing that helped me above all else when I was single before I met my husband, I imagined that he was in a far-off place, maybe overseas or in a relationship that was about to end. I knew that he was out there wondering where I was too. I told myself that when the time was right, we would meet. And now when I think back to those tough times when I was single, I realized that my husband was overseas for an entire 12 months. It wasn't until he'd been back home for 6 months that we finally met. So of course we couldn't have met before then. These conversations you have with yourself must stay positive and hopeful. It's the most important thing you can do for yourself. If you've liked this video, let me know in the comments below what you thought, and if there's any of the strategies that you think you can implement in your own life. Make sure you hit the like button, and please subscribe and hit the bell beside it so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and I will be back again soon for more love advice. Bye for now. For more information on private consultations with me, visit lyndalove.net or get in touch directly via email lynda@lyndalove.net. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time for more love advice with Lynda. Bye for now.